West Ham 4, Brentford 2, my favourite kind of games, those ones. It has to be said. It was attritional stuff. There was one-on-ones. It was absolutely brilliant. I know someone who went tonight. He'd come down from Scotland. It was his first game. It was his first game at London Stadium. First game at London Stadium. There you go. He got to see that. Well done. Really pleased for you, mate, by the way. 4-2. What an incredible game that was. I mean, honestly, that had everything. It was tons of drama. Absolutely tons of drama in that game. If we'd have lost that, I'm just dealing with this as an isolated game. Nothing to do with David Moyes. Nothing like that. If we'd have lost that, I would have been furious. Because they cheat a lot. Let's be fair, they cheat a lot. I remember when we played against them, not last season, season before last, and it broke the record for the least amount of time the ball had been in play. I think it was, I can't even remember what it was, but it was low, really, really low. The ball was out of play more than it was in play, put it that way. Incredible to beat that team. Honestly, Kevin Nolan, he'd had a row with Mopai. Look, it would be impossible to be in that tunnel and be on that pitch and not have a row with Mopai. So I've got nothing against Kevin Nolan for that. Fair play to him, to be honest with you. He had to be restrained. They were diving. Honestly, all sorts was going on. It was brilliant. And I've got to say to David Moyes, well done to David Moyes. It cannot be easy getting beaten by the same geezer time after time after time. Thomas Frank, who I do think he seems like a really nice guy. He went on at the end and he congratulated Jarrod Bowen, which I was really pleased. But, his team are a pain in the arse. Cheating bunch of whatsits. Cheating bunch of scallywags. They really are. But fair play to Thomas Franks. When the game's over, he went and shook Bowen's hand and all the rest of it. But I'm actually pleased for David Moyes to get one over his nemesis, really. He's done both, hasn't he, really? He's done Brighton with successive managers, but he's managed to do Brighton and he's managed to do Brentford this season. So, well done. Bowen hat-trick, amazing, brilliant. Not going to be able to cover everything in this video, but yeah, so well done. I think probably the biggest story going into the game was Lucas Paquetá was back. No surprise, he let us all know, hinted, didn't he, before the game on his social media posts. We covered it in this morning's video. Okay, first goal, Lucas Paquetá, James Ward-Prowse, down the left-hand side. Emerson sort of pulled it back, and Bowen scored. Good goal, actually. Really good sort of... I think they were maybe a little bit unkind. I thought it was only one place he could hit it, and the only way he could hit it with a sort of slice, if you know what I mean. And he did sort of slice it with the outside of his foot. It was a really, really good shot. Scored the goal. We didn't. I think it was like 2 minutes later. So I think his first goal might have been 4 minutes. Second goal, 6 minutes, quite possibly. Soufal this time. Good work down the right. He pulled the ball back really well. If you haven't seen the goals, go and watch them. I don't know if they'll be on YouTube yet. After midnight tonight, they will be. Go and have a look. It wasn't a hit and hope from Soufal. Far from it. It was actually, you felt he really placed it really well. Good, another nice finish from Bowen. It was 2-0 and you're thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. 6 minutes in. Honestly, at that point, it's funny how football does this stuff to your emotions, because it's been so doom and gloom. Really has, since I guess since the Arsenal game was really the sort of cherry on top, wasn't it, really? But, I guess, after Forest and whatnot, and then, you get to that, and it's so... I went from it being like the end of the world, a beauty of sport, to after 6 minutes thinking we might win 5-0. I guess I wasn't too far wrong in that respect, was I? But honestly, but typical West Ham, look, we conceded 2-1. I'm going through it all really as quickly as I can here, otherwise it's going to be a really, really long video. There's 6 goals to discuss. Mopai, oh man, he is really, he's an irritant, isn't he? He really, really is. Anyway, scored. He does sometimes seem to score. I think he seems to spend the game. There was something that didn't have anything to do with him when somebody else other than him dived, and West Ham was sort of, a bit unhappy about it. And even though it had calmed down, people walking away, he was still pushing people. He was pushing people. Mopai wants someone to punch him. That's look, he ain't have to worry about it. If he goes through his whole life like that, it's going to happen quite a lot. But he wants it to happen on the football pitch. He's always trying to get somebody sent off. Always. Anyway, it didn't happen. Look, he scored his goal. Zuma didn't cover himself in glory, and neither did Areola. I was worried at that point. If you were watching the game, you must have been worried. We were all worried at that point. So, yeah, I mean, that is stayed at 2-1 first half. Second half, we really retreated. Too much. It was a worry. And you just thought, come on, Moyes. Are you going to defend on this? Are you going to keep doing this? But to be fair, we had a really nice attack. And I think it was, can't remember, somebody fed, it might have been Souček or Ward-Prowse fed the ball into Kudus. Soufal went and overlapped him to, keep them busy, keep the Brentford players busy, and then he just sort of drove into the box. It had a few shots, Kudus, and it'd been pretty good up to this point. But obviously, you've already got someone that scored 2 goals in Bowen, who was sort of stealing the show a little bit. And Kudus clipped a really nice sort of left foot cross, so sort of in the swinging cross, if you like, from inside the box, picked out Bowen, who found space really, really well. It probably wasn't the best defending from Brentford, but who cares? It was a really nice headed, sort of glancing header finish from Bowen. That was his hat-trick. Absolutely brilliant. I was delighted for him, really. We'll talk about it a little bit for the individual players. Obviously, we'll cover them in depth in Patreon player ratings tomorrow morning. I got my book ready. For those of you who know, I've got a multicoloured pen system. There's gonna be some different colours coming out tomorrow. I'll tell you what, because there's some pretty exceptional stuff. 4-1. Crikey, Emerson, a humdinger. A howitzer, a Rippenschnorten, a Grudelschnitzel of a shot. Honestly, my words, what a goal this is. Left foot, someone headed it out, clearance out, went to Emerson. 25, we'll call it 27 between us. He really hit it with his left foot. He really, really hit it. It had the power, the shape, the curl, all the stuff. It was amazing. What an amazing goal that was. 4-1. Absolute humdinger don't do it justice. We'll have to, any one of those were, put them all together. It was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's how good that bloody shot was. Wow, what a goal. Brilliant. Anyway, what was it? 4-2, they scored. Wissa, Zuma probably could have done better again. 4-2, little bit squeaky bum at the end. 2 good saves from Areola. Little clearance, yeah, if you want. Clearance off the line from Emerson, let's call it that. Brilliant. 4-2 win, up into 8th. And, yeah, I mean, excellent. Well done. What great performance. But as an event, as a game, it was theatre. The game was pure theatre. It really, really was. Back and forth. There were heroes and there were villains. Honestly, they were the villains. Honestly, they were the pantomime villains, Brentford. They really were. But anyway, fortunately, the heroes won out in the end. Yeah, I mean, just absolutely brilliant. It really was. Look, maybe I'll nitpick. Would have been nice to, 4-1 up. Maybe it'd have been nice to see a youngster or two come on. But hey ho, there you go. So Paquetá was replaced after 75 minutes. He played really well. I mean, he wasn't the best player on the pitch. Well, how could he be with Bowen scoring a hat-trick? He gave the whole place a lift. He really gave. You could tell he had given all of those players. They were just delighted to have him there. He'll have better games than that. But he makes Emerson tick. Emerson was brilliant going forward. All goal and assist will tell you that. Was given a bit of a hard time with Keane Lewis Potter. Was given a bit of a hard time down that side, it has to be said. But he came through, and he was, obviously one of our best players in there. But there were lots of really good performances. Probably, I mean, you could have said Areola for the first goal, but he really redeemed himself. Possibly the only really shaky performance was Zuma. I don't want to concentrate on it. To be fair, why would I concentrate on one iffy performance with so many really good ones? Actually, on the centre backs, Mavropanos, he'll take some shifting now. I thought he was immense. He was immense. He thought, I'm having some of this. The Greek Colossus, Zeus, Poseidon, the Kraken. Honestly, absolute Leviathan at the back. He really was brilliant. Oh, yeah, I mean, Sufal had a good game. He had a good game. Emerson, we've already discussed. Alvarez was good, really good. Such a good shield for that back four. And I'll tell you something else. Souček had a good game. Yes, he did. Yes, he absolutely did. Look, it was great. It was absolutely great. What a brilliant performance. I've been waffling on for 10 minutes now. You get the gist. We were the good guys. They were the villains. Bowen scored a hat-trick. Paquetá is back. There's so much other stuff to discuss tomorrow. It's Monday night. We all need to go to bed, don't we? But absolutely brilliant. Well done, West Ham. Well done, Jarrod Bowen. Well done, David Moyes. Well done, everybody. I'm going to leave the mainstream media alone all week, forever, maybe forever, because you just know what's going to happen, which will be, well, where are all those Moyes out people now, eh? But hey, look, you know what? It's just people that are like that. I don't want you to enjoy the game. I'm enjoying the game, enjoying the victory. I'm enjoying all those wonderful, wonderful things that happen. As I said before the game, the ideal thing for me would be that we actually win the game. We win the game. I want to finish the season strongly. I really do. I want hope, and I have that we can do something in Europe. Ultimately, at the end, we'll deal with that Moyes stuff. But you watch enough of these videos to understand what my feelings are on that anyway. But this is what I want. This is what I want to see. Attack, the best form of defence, wasn't it? Eh? Maybe a bit of that. There was a point, I looked at the stats during the game. I was one bloody thing off. I'm going to show you. Look. On my bingo, I was going to say, I was one thing off a full house. Then I'm going to show you. I might have even closed it down now. Game over. Sorry. Yeah, I was one thing off a full house on there. Would have been a winner. There you go. View the cards. I think it was there. Sorry, I got it wrong. Two things off a full house. Would have been a winner. Alvarez went and got that card. If only he'd have got that anyway. It doesn't matter. It was close. If he'd have got the card in the 87th minute, I think I'd have been all right. Anyway, there we go. Great game. Great game of football. What an entertaining game of football. I tell you what, he's had some boring old games, David Moyes, but that wasn't one of them. That was one of the most entertaining games of football I've seen in a long, long time. Anyway, I'll catch you later.